All right, let's talk about the IELTS reading test. Does just thinking about it make your heart start pounding? Yeah, I get it, but you are in exactly the right place. Because over the next few minutes, we're going to flip that anxiety into a rock-solid, confident strategy. So, let's dive right in. This right here, this is the heart of the challenge, isn't it? 60 minutes, 40 questions, 3 long, dense texts. I mean, just looking at those numbers can be super intimidating, and you haven't even opened the booklet yet. It's a total race against the clock. So you get exactly 1 hour, 60 minutes. And once that clock starts, man, it does not stop for anything. Every single second counts.
And jammed into that 1 hour, 40 questions, yeah, 40. If you do the math, that gives you what, like a minute and a half per question? 90 seconds to read the question, find the answer in the text, and then lock it in. It's intense.
And you have to find all those answers in 3, not short paragraphs, but 3 long, often pretty dense texts. So yeah, the pressure is definitely real. But here's the good news. This is a race you can totally win if you have the right game plan. So the big question is, how do we tackle this thing?
Okay, so here's our plan. We'll start with the 60-minute challenge itself. Then we'll get to know the question types, kind of like knowing your enemy. After that, I'll show you your secret weapons, the right reading skills. Then we'll put it all together in the ultimate game plan and wrap up with your final takeaway. Simple as that.
All right, first up, the 60-minute challenge. Let's really understand the battlefield here. Because knowing the terrain is always the first step to winning. So what are these passages actually like?
Okay, so what are you actually going to be reading? Well, these are real texts, pulled from things like books, journals, and newspapers. The good news is the topics are pretty general. You don't need to be a rocket scientist or a history buff to understand them. You should expect at least one of the texts to lay out a detailed argument. And hey, don't be surprised if you see a diagram, a graph, or some kind of illustration thrown in there too.
Okay, so knowing the texts is half the battle, but the other half? Understanding how they're going to test you on it. And believe me, it's way more than just your standard multiple choice.
Yeah, you'll see multiple choice, for sure. But you'll also get hit with things like matching headings, filling in the blanks in a summary, labeling a diagram, short answer questions, the list goes on. This variety is exactly why you can't just have one strategy. You've got to be flexible.
All right, let's zoom in on a big one, the one that trips up so many people. True, false, or not given. This is where it gets tricky. The difference between false and not given is absolutely key. False means the text straight up says the opposite. But not given? That just means the information isn't in the text at all. You just can't find it. Getting this right, it's a game changer. Okay, so we know the texts, we know the questions. Now for the really important part, your secret weapons. This is all about how you actually read. And spoiler alert, it is not about reading faster. It's about reading smarter.
This quote right here says it all. You really need to shift your mindset. You're not reading a novel for fun. Nope. You are a detective on a mission. Your job is to find clues, the answers, as quickly as possible. We're aiming for efficiency, not 100% perfect understanding.
And how do you do that? With 2 key skills, skimming and scanning. Think of it like this. Skimming is when you read quickly to get the big picture. You're just trying to figure out, what is this whole thing about? Then there's scanning. This is what you do after you've read a question. You're not really reading anymore, you're just hunting. Your eyes are zipping across the page looking for a specific word, a name, a date. Skim for the map, scan for the treasure. Got it?
Okay, you've got the mindset, you've got the skills, now let's build the ultimate game plan. This is your step-by-step strategy for test day. 4 tactics. They're simple, but they are absolutely vital. Number 1, read the instructions. Seriously, different sections can have different rules. Don't get tripped up. 2, manage your time like a hawk. If a question feels too hard, just mark it and move on. Come back later if you can. Don't let one question eat up all your time. 3, answer every single question. There's no penalty for wrong answers, so a guess is always better than leaving it blank. And finally, number 4, transfer your answers as you go. This is a big one. You do not get extra time at the end to copy your answers over to the answer sheet. Be careful with this.
Okay, let's wrap this up and bring it all together. We've looked at the challenge, the skills, the game plan. So what's the big takeaway here? How do you turn all that pressure into a great performance? It all comes down to this path. First, you have to understand the format, the whole 60 minutes, 40 questions, 3 passages thing. Next, you master the question types so there are no surprises on test day. Then you unleash your skills.
Skim for the gist, scan for the details. And finally, you just execute your game plan. You manage your time, you answer everything, that's it. That is how you win.
You know, at the end of the day, the IELTS reading test is less about how perfect your English is and more about how smart your strategy is. The clock is just a clock. It's going to tick no matter what. But your preparation, your strategy, that's what you have complete control over. So really, there's only one question left to ask yourself. Are you ready to beat it?